Hello, my beautiful penguin survivors. Today's video is a little bit more serious, and it's very meaningful to me, and I'm a little bit nervous to talk about this, but I feel like it's necessary. These are 10 things not to say to someone who self-harms, and this is really important to me because I've been through it, and most of these I have been told. And I have them written down on a piece of paper. And these are just 10 that I found on the website. And I'm going to explain each of them and hopefully feel better about talking about it. So if I abruptly stop, please try to ignore it. This is very important to me, and it's not something that I usually feel comfortable talking about, but I feel like it's necessary, so here we go. Alright, so the first thing you do not want to say to someone is, stop being so overly dramatic. This causes more stress on the person that does this, and usually whenever someone is told this, it brings them more self-hate, and they'd want to cut again. So just don't say it, just encourage the person. Number 2 is, you have no good reason for doing that. Usually when a person self-harms, they usually don't have a good reason, but it's just something you don't say to someone because it could cause them to self-harm again, and especially if they've been through a lot and you don't know that. But if someone has been through a lot in their life and you tell them, oh, you have no good reason for doing that, it makes them want to cut themselves again because they feel like, because they feel like they don't feel like they they feel like they need to. Sorry, this means a lot to me. The third thing you don't want to say is, you were not able or strong enough to end it. Usually when a person self-harms, they don't want to end their lives. I'm sorry. Usually when a person self-harms, they don't want to end their life completely. Usually when a person self-harms, it relieves some stress and or feelings that they have, and they feel like they don't want to talk about it that much. But usually when you tell a person that they're not able or strong enough to end their lives, they are usually more than likely to try to end their lives. So it's just something you don't say. The fourth thing you don't want to say is, what did you use? Usually that's very triggering for some people, and the person that has done that will feel triggering to do it again if they're trying to stop, and people will be like, oh, what did you use? It could trigger some other people. Like if you're talking to someone, it could trigger them to do that. So it's just, you just don't say it. Number 5, why would you want to make yourself so ugly? Usually scars and flaws are not ugly, but usually when you say this to somebody, they give themselves, if someone feels self-conscious about it, and you tell them, oh, why would you want to do that? You're so beautiful, why would you want to do that? It usually causes more self-hate and self-consciousness on the person that did it. So it's just something you just don't say because it could trigger the person to do that again, or it could make them more self-conscious about themselves. So, number 6, can you cover that up with long sleeves so I don't have to look at it? Usually that's very hurtful to a person who self-harms, and usually when people do self-harm, they cover it up. But if they don't, um, and they just like wear their scars, um, sometimes when people don't cover it up, they try to make a stand or a statement saying, hey, I've done this and I'm trying to overcome it. So whenever you tell somebody to cover it up, it just makes them more, it makes them self-hate themselves, and it might be triggering for them to cut themselves again. So, number 7, you need to promise me that you will never do that again. Usually when a person says this, it's usually like their best friend, and they say, oh, you have to promise me you won't do that again. You have to promise me you won't do that. Usually it's very triggering for a person, especially if they're trying to recover from it. Recovery is a very long process, and you will relapse, and that person may be triggering to cut themselves again. So it's just something you don't say. I mean, yes, if they can keep that promise, but most likely they will break that promise. But you just have to be patient with them. Recovery is a very long and tedious process. So, number 8, how could you do that to me? The person who is self-harming does not need to put harm on the other person. It means they are trying to put harm on themselves and only themselves. So whenever someone says, how could you do that to me? It's very hurtful, and it could be very triggering to the person. And they could feel like the urge that they need to cut again. Number 9 is the opposite of number 8, whatever, it's your body. Usually when a person says this, they really don't care, and it's the complete opposite of how could you do that to me. Usually when a person says whatever, it's your body, usually it's very triggering for somebody who has self-harmed or is still self-harming. It's just very triggering, it's very disrespectful, and it's very uncalled for someone to say it. So, and we're on to the last one. Number 10, it's a way of coping, I guess. Nothing wrong with that. When someone self-harms, it's not necessarily meaning they're coping with something, but, well, they are, but it's like there is, everything is wrong with that. They're putting harm on one's body, and they are hitting themselves, punching themselves, pulling their hair out, breaking their own bones on purpose, making themselves bleed. It's not a way of coping, it's a way of dealing with, it's like if you keep everything inside yourself and you just feel like the urge to say something and you can't, and you just cut yourself or punch yourself or hit your head against the wall. It's just very triggering to some people, and it's very disrespectful to someone who is doing that. So, those are the 10 things not to say to someone who self-harms. Sorry I'm so shaky. Please comment down below if you have any other things not to say to someone who self-harms. I might do another one, and it's like 5 things. That's like 10 things not to say to someone who has eating disorder. But yeah, just, I'm always here for you guys. Even though I go through some of these things myself, I know a lot. And it's no joke. It's, taking everything seriously. So if you guys leave a comment down below, like saying how like I'm doing with this, and I mean, I know it like stresses me out a lot to be talking about this, and it means a lot to me. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay strong, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.